Session 1. The year is 1492 in the Sword Coast region, on the continent of Faerun. Wood Elf Ranger, Angora, Wood Elf Druid, Besmin Yariel, Dwarf Bard Raoul, Ignatius Chamberlain, Edmund A.K.A. Rice, and Gnome Wizard Westerberber were all hired by the dwarf Gundren Rockseeker to deliver his wagon of goods from Neverwinter to Barthen's provisions in Phandalin. Along the Tribo Trail that leads to Phandalin, the party found 2 dead horses that belonged to Gundren and his human companion in Sildar Hallwinter. While inspecting the horses, the party was ambushed by goblins. After defeating the goblins, the party discovered a hidden trail through the forest that appears to have been used by goblins to drag away 2 humanoid captives. The party continued their journey to Phandalin, delivered the wagon of goods to Elmer Barthen, and rented rooms at the Stonehill Inn. Session 2. In the morning, the party met the half-orc barbarian Bobby Lubkins at the Stonehill Inn. After Bobby was pushed in the creek by a local gang called the Red Brands, Westerberber graciously dried Bobby's clothes using his magic. After speaking to some of the locals in Phandalin, the party heard more serious allegations about the Red Brands fighting and stealing from innocent commoners. The Red Brands also seemed to hang out at the Sleeping Giant Tap House on the east side of town. The party returned to the site of the goblin ambush, followed the hidden trail through the forest, and discovered a cave hideout. There, they defeated goblins and rescued Sildar Hallwinter, who urged them to escort him back to Phandalin so he can tend to his wounds. The party also discovered some stolen goods that belong to the Lion Shield Coaster in Phandalin. Session 3. Upon returning to Phandalin, Sildar rewarded the party for rescuing him. After a long rest, the party found Sildar sitting with the human fighter Bertram Deadbrow, who bested Bobby in an evenly matched arm wrestling match. While treating the party to breakfast, Sildar told a tale of Wave Echo Cave, a rich mine with magical properties, and a legendary forge used to create magical items and keep Phandalin safe centuries ago, before it was lost in a great battle between humans and orcs. Sildar said that Gundren Rockseeker found a map to the Lost Wave Echo Cave and, along with his brothers, planned to get the mine up and running again. However, under orders from the mysterious Black Spider, a band of goblins took Gundren and the map to a place called Cragmaw Castle. Sildar explained that, as an agent of the Lord's Alliance, he took an oath to protect the realm. Bez asked Sildar if the Lord's Alliance knew anything about some ominous signs from her homeland near Unicorn Run. Sildar said there have been reports of demon worship in remote areas like that, and to be cautious. A fellow member of the Lord's Alliance, a human wizard named Iano Albrecht, was Sildar's main contact in Phandalin, but went missing about 2 months ago. After parting ways with Sildar late in the morning, the party headed towards the Sleeping Giant Tap House to confront the Red Brands. A group of Red Brands were found on the front porch, and after insulting the party, demanded they drop their purses and leave. Rice said, "That's my purse. You don't know me," which led to a fierce street fight. The party knocked out one Red Brand and killed the rest. After interrogating the remaining Red Brand, the party learned that the gang's hideout is underneath the abandoned Trescenta Manor on the outskirts of town, and their lair is home to about a dozen Red Brands, including their wizard leader Glastaff, as well as some more monstrous foes. While begging for his life, the captive Red Brand also revealed that the Red Brands were hired by the Black Spider to intimidate the locals and scare off any adventurers from interfering with whatever business the Black Spider has here. The Red Brand promised he would leave town, but after getting the sense he was lying and fearing he would go warn the rest of the Red Brands instead, Bertram promptly slit the Red Brand's throat. The party left the dead Red Brands in the street and took their mismatched uniforms. Upon returning to the Stonehill Inn, the party told Sildar about their encounter. Sildar had news of his own, that the locals recall Iarno Ulbrich arriving about 2 months ago. But he quickly disappeared after he was last seen investigating treason Damena. Running out of allies in Phandalin, and with this being his best lead so far, Sildar agreed to reward the party if they investigate the manor. The party then got some rest before planning on infiltrating the Red Brand hideout in the middle of the night. Session 4. The party approached Tresendar Manor, known to be the hideout of the Red Brand gang. They followed a winding path up the hill on the east edge of town and found a stone castle that appears to be abandoned and crumbling. Bez, transformed into a rat to scout the area, descended into the cellar and spied some Red Brands. The party devised a plan where Bobby dressed as a Red Brand and bound the rest of the party with rope, as if they were his prisoners. Bobby managed to deceive the Red Brands, who directed him to the prison cell. On the way, the party defeated a pair of skeletons and a pair of zombies. In the prison cells, the party was jumped by 3 Red Brands, but managed to defeat the scoundrels. In the prison, the party met Myrna Dendra and her teenage children, who were imprisoned after Myrna's husband stood up to the Red Brands and paid for it with his life. The party promised to come back for the prisoners after the coast was clear. The party proceeded through the hideout until they came upon a large cavern where they met the monstrous, bloodthirsty Nothig. The party struck a bargain with the Nothig, bring the Nothig more flesh to feast upon, and drive the Red Brands from the Nothig's lair. Westerberber's mage hand knocked on the 2 doors beyond the cavern, and the Bugbear and Red Brand came to investigate. More Bugbear and Red Brand reinforcements joined the fray, but the party prevailed. The party met a goblin named Droop, who was being bullied by the Bugbears, and proceeded to follow the party. Westerberber wrote, "Red Brands eat shit" on the common room wall in feces. After coming to an alchemy lab occupied by a lone rat, the party killed the rat and found some books written in Dwarvish that recount the legend of the Wave Echo Cave, the Forge of Spells, and a magical mace known as Lightbringer, which was lost many years ago. The party proceeded to the next room and found a startling revelation. A note from the Black Spider seemed to indicate that they were aware of the party's arrival in Phandalin, and the Arno Ulbrich was under orders to capture the party. Unfortunately, Ulbrich was nowhere to be found. The party freed the prisoners, and Minna told them a tale of Thunder Tree, her childhood home that was overrun by undead. There, her family owned an alchemy shop, and hidden away was their family heirloom, an emerald necklace. Myrna had no reward to offer, but told the party they could keep the necklace if they ever managed to recover it. The party then returned to the cellar door where they first entered and noticed that the initial group of Red Brands that they deceived had left, likely with Ulbrich alongside. Session 5. Stepping out of the Tresendar Manor cellar, the party sees the sun just starting to rise. They return to the Stonehill Inn and find Sildar eating breakfast with Bertram while telling Sildar of their recent exploits and giving Iarno Ulbrich's letter from the Black Spider to Sildar as evidence of his crimes. Two local townsfolk came to scold the party for leaving red-brand corpses outside where they could be seen by children the previous day and questioned if the party was a rival gang. Sildur explained that he is an agent of the Lord's Alliance and has hired the party to help make Phandalin safer. Unconvinced, the two women left. Sildar suggested doing some jobs for the town to build a reputation and gain the trust of the locals. Pursuing one such job, the party decided to travel several hours outside of Phandalin to Nomengard. Westerberg agreed to stay in Phandalin and keep an eye on the goblin Droop, who they found being bullied by bugbears in Tresendare Manor. On the way there, Angora was approached by a friendly wolf that began to follow her around as a beast companion. Asking around in Nomengard, the party learned of a mysterious shapeshifter that had supposedly attacked Nomengard's king and that two other gnomes had been missing for a few days. While looking for the creature, the party encountered a young inventor's failed creation, a swiveling chair armed with 4 crossbows that seemed to fire at random. The party managed to disable the contraption, but when Rice used cure wounds on himself, he experienced a strange form of wild magic, which caused his skin to turn bright blue for 1 hour before returning to its normal hue. While investigating the wine cellar, one of the wine barrels was revealed to be a mimic, which the party defeated in battle. For their troubles, the party received 2 magic items from the gnome inventors Fibblestip and Dabbletop, a clockwork amulet and a pole of collapsing. The party then met the 2 kings of Nomengard, Korbos and Nurkli, who had 2 more magic items for the party: a hat of wizardry and a wand of pyrotechnics. Returning to Phandalin later that evening, the party gave the amulet to Townmaster Wester and collected the reward for bringing him a magic item of Nomengard. The party then returned to the Stonehill Inn to rest for the night.